Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Okay, we're going to start this morning first with our water vapor satellite picture as of 10 a.m. And as you can see, we have a rather energetic upper level low sitting over the Tennessee River Valley. As this upper level low lifts to the northeast towards the northern New England and the St. Lawrence River Valley, the upper level low will weaken and open up into a trough. Meanwhile, an area of low pressure is starting to develop around the Tennessee River Valley and over western Virginia. Will move through New Jersey by tomorrow morning and enter southern New England by tomorrow evening. Now, for the most part, because of the weakening nature of this upper level feature, the rainfall amounts will not be all that impressive. However, as you move towards the interior, there will be a better chance for some heavier rain, and I'll show you why at 850 millibars. This is from the NAM model guidance from the Penn State EWAL, and what we're looking at here is 850 millibar winds. And what we have sitting over much of New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania is called the low-level jet. Now, this low-level jet ranges anywhere from 45 knots to 60 knots, and that low-level jet will basically enhance the moisture transport and the lifting over portions of eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey, producing the threat for a few embedded thunderstorms. However, they will not be severe in any way, shape, or form, but they will be able to produce some heavier downpours. Now, the other impact over the interior will be the fact that winds are going to be coming in from the Atlantic, and you're going to have a little bit of an orographic lifting feature with this rainfall. But for the most part, most locations will range anywhere around a quarter to a half an inch of rain, and then as you move towards the interior, around an inch of rain. The latest guidance from the HPC, which helps put out rainfall amounts, expected rainfall amounts for a region, and as you can see, they also are in agreement with anywhere from a quarter to a half an inch over much of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, and potentially up to an inch over portions of eastern Pennsylvania, up through northwestern New Jersey and into the Hudson Valley. Again, this is directly influenced by the fact that the low-level jet will be developing tomorrow morning and enhancing some of this rainfall. But the good news is that this storm will be moving rather quickly, and by tomorrow afternoon, many locations will be clearing out. I still have a threat for a few scattered showers into the evening hours tomorrow, but overall, this steady rain will be over by the afternoon hours tomorrow. After this rainstorm leaves, we really move into a rather warm and comfortable weather pattern for the end of the week. Now, this is for Friday evening. Before Friday evening, the high pressure system that's going to be sitting over Florida will be pumping up plenty of warm air into the northern mid-Atlantic. So Thursday and Friday, for the most part, are rather pleasant days, warm, with increasing clouds on Friday afternoon. Now, by Friday evening, we have a cold front approaching, but the cold front is not really that impressive, and I'll show why at 500 millibars. But I want to show you 850 millibars first. At 850 millibars on Friday evening, this red line here that you see cutting through New Jersey and southern Pennsylvania, that's 10 degrees Celsius at 850 millibars. That type of warm air on Thursday and Friday will allow the majority of the northern mid-Atlantic, with a few exceptions, maybe parts of eastern Long Island and locations just along the immediate coast, to reach into the 60s. And I would not be surprised if somebody hits 70 degrees on Friday afternoon ahead of this cold front. We're dealing with very warm air, and that warm air is going to be taking hold throughout the entire northern mid-Atlantic. And quite frankly, the cold front that will be dropping south is not really all that impressive. Notice firsthand that the cold air that's over New England really isn't moving all that far south. And we see why at 500 millibars. There are two features that stand out immediately in this pattern. The first, obviously, is the deep upper level low off the west coast, with a trough over the west coast and western Rockies, and of course our ridge over the southeast. Now, what is this telling us? Well, the disturbance that's approaching from the Great Lakes that will be driving this cold front through is weakening. And because of that weakening feature, there really isn't much lifting with this cold front. So I don't really expect much in the way of showers. There could be a few strong thunderstorms depending on the exact timing and interaction with the warm air mass that's over the northern Atlantic. But for the most part, we're dealing with a cold front that's weakening. Another thing to point out is that notice the trajectory of the upper level winds, the height lines. They're all from west to east. these troughs are not able to dive south, which means that the cold air that is locked up in Canada, it's not going anywhere but staying in Canada. It won't really be able to dive south for very far south, and basically any type of polar air mass that does try to move into the northern Atlantic will be moderated rapidly and also exit into the Atlantic because we're dealing with a very progressive pattern. By the way, that upper level low around the Canadian Maritimes is not part of a negative NAO pattern. It is a progressive pattern. It is a progressive upper level low that is going to be entrained into the polar vortex. So in no way, shape, or form is this a negative NAO pattern or a pattern that produces blocking. This is a very progressive upper level pattern. For the weekend, we're going to pretty much expect near normal temperatures, and I think the European model guidance is rather emphatic on the idea that there's going to be high pressure over the northern mid-Atlantic. So pretty much we're expecting a rather nice weekend going forward with temperatures near normal in the 50s, possibly lower 60s in some locations, and dry conditions. And you can see at 850 millibars on Sunday evening, that cold air never really gets any farther south than Maine. You have temperatures slightly below freezing at 850 millibars, but at this time of year, that pretty much translates to near normal temperatures, which is basically in the 50s over the northern tier and lower 60s potentially over the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Also notice on Sunday evening, we have a lot of warm air approaching. Now that warm air is going to push a warm front through the northern mid-Atlantic on Monday morning with a few scattered showers. And then once that warm front moves through, well, Monday afternoon and Tuesday look rather nice. This is the 500 millibar pattern on Tuesday, and you can see that we have a rather impressive ridge building over the east coast with a ridge axis basically around the St. Lawrence River Valley cutting up towards northern New England. And that basically means we can expect dry conditions. And also notice we have a rather deep trough basically from the Gulf of Alaska extending all the way into the Rockies. So we're clearly dealing with a pattern that will have a storm track well to the north and west of the northern mid-Atlantic. And you can see on Tuesday afternoon there's plenty of warm air building into the northern mid-Atlantic. Now we probably won't hit the 70-degree mark that we'll probably see on Friday. However, I do expect temperatures to rebound into the lower to mid 60s, possibly even upper 60s in a few isolated locations by the start of next week. So Monday afternoon, it'll be warm, but temperatures probably be limited into the lower 60s as the sky is clear. And then Tuesday, we really warm up probably into the mid 60s for most locations. Upper 60s is a potential possibility for parts of the Philadelphia metro on south. But clearly we are looking at a very nice and comfortable start to next week as well. And you can see at the surface, high pressure is in control. The key point here is that high pressure is off the coast, which means we will be warming up on Tuesday afternoon. And then our next potential cold front is sitting up over the northern plains. That could bring some rain to the northern mid-Atlantic on Wednesday night or Thursday. Wednesday, though, is looking like a very warm day. So clearly we are in a spring pattern, a very warm pattern, and no sign of any type of negative NAO pattern or any influence of such. So we are clearly moving into a warmer pattern with no threat of any major storms or snow over the next 5 days. Thank you for visiting NYNJPA Weather as your weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. I'm meteorologist Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.